All right, y'all. We give praise, esteem, and honor to the living up in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach this day. Shalom, Brother Nate. Let's pick us up in John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and there they will testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come in my Abba's name, you receive me not. When another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and not the honor that comes from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you to Abba. There is one that accused you, even Moses, in whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. If you believe not his writing, how should you believe my words? Shalom, Azrael, man. Shalom, Sister Kelly. So, all praise and esteem to Abba and Shamahim in the name of Yahushua, man. Let's get this Daniel chapter 12, man. I've got this right here in verse 1. And at that time shall Mikael stand up, the great prince will stand for the children of your people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation. To that same time, and at that time your people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book. Many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. They that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. But you, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book till the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. So, of course, you know, we've been talking about them seals and what that is when he unsealed the book. So let's come over here to Revelation 5 just for a starter pack. Revelation 5, man, you can pick it up at verse 1.
And I saw on the right hand of him that sat on the throne a book written within it on the backside, sealed with 7 seals. And I saw a strong Malachim proclaiming with a loud voice, who is worthy to open the book?
Who's worthy to open the book?
And to loose the seals thereof. Mm-hmm. And no man in Shamahim, nor in earth, neither under the earth, was able to open the book, neither to look thereon.
And I wept
much, because no man was found worthy to open and to read the book,
neither to look
thereon. Mm-hmm. And one of the elders said unto me,
weep not.
Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Yehuda,
the root
of David,
have prevailed
to open the book
and to loose
the 7 seals thereof.
Pause. So we talking about loosing 7 seals. We started with one particular seal. Let's go to Revelation 6 and 9. And this is the first seal that we began with. We did a little background. Now we're finna go even further. And when he opened the 5th seal, I saw, this is Revelation 6 and 9. I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of Elohim, for the testimony which they held. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, how long, O Lord, Kadash and true, do you not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? God bless, Brother Langford. And white robes were given to every one of them. And it was said unto them that they should rest yet for a little season unto their fellow servants and their brethren that should be killed, as they should be fulfilled. Now, see, shalom, Sister Hill. See, now these are things that were kept back. That, again, when you're talking about what we were discussing in Daniel 12 before, reverting back to verse 4, when we were dealing with, I think, verse 7 or 8 or 9 in that mix, that these things are not going to be accomplished until he's accomplished to scatter the power of the Kadash people. And the scattering of the Kadash people, many people are going to die. You understand? So when he loosed the seals, that Daniel, when he told Daniel seal up the book, this was information that was not readily known unto the house of Yasharal, that this is what would befall them in the last day. And unfortunately, many brothers are not really instructing the people that you are going to be slaughtered and killed for the name of your Elohim, not for your nationality, not for your skin tone, but for the name of your Elohim. They're going to kill you for it. What did he say they were killed for in verse 9? For the word of Elohim and the testimony which they held. I've been telling y'all this for years. I stress and press it for one reason, that your faith needs to be built up if Yahuwah will permit to the highest level to cause you to be able to endure such level of persecution. Could you give me Luke chapter 12, man? Tell me about verse 5, man. After that, man, Daniel chapter 7, man, verse 20, man, verse 17. This is Luke chapter 12, verse 5.
But I will forewarn you whom you shall fear.
I'm going to tell you who you ought to fear.
Fear him which after he hath killed have power to cast into hell.
Well, back it up then and give me verse 4 then.
Mm-hmm. And I say unto you, my friends, be not afraid of them that kill the body.
Don't be afraid of nobody. Shalom, Shaul. Don't be afraid of nobody who can kill you. Why?
And after that, have no more that they can do.
Because once you dead, what else can they do to you? I don't care how many bullets they put into you. I don't care if they chop your body up. You already dead. It don't matter.
But I forewarn you whom you shall fear.
Who you need to fear?
Fear him which after he have killed,
Now, after he done killed you,
have power to cast into hell.
now he got power to cast you in the lake where the worm dies not, and the fire shall not be quenched.
Yea, I say unto you, fear him.
And you need to fear your maker. Remember, that was Psalm 27 tell you. Get that Psalm 27 for me, man, before we go over there. Tell me about Psalm 27 and 7, man.
Hear, O Yahuwah, I cry with my voice. Have mercy also upon me and answer me. Seek you my face, my heart said unto you. Your face, Yahuwah, will I seek.
Your face, Yahuwah, will I seek.
Hide not your face from me. Put not your servant away in anger.
Please don't put me away in your anger.
You have been my help. I leave me not, neither forsake me.
Neither forsake me.
Oh, Elohim of my salvation.
That's right.
My father, my mother
when
forsake
my father and mother forsake me, who gonna take
then
you up?
Yahuwah will take me up.
Amen. Go ahead.
Teach me your way, O Yahuwah, and lead me in a plain path because of my enemies.
That's right.
Deliver me not over unto the will of my enemies.
He says, see, deliver me he say, guide me in a plain path. Please don't deliver me to the will of my enemies. But guess what? Some of us gonna have to suffer. See, I'm gonna get to that white robe in a minute. Come on with it, man.
For false witnesses are risen up against me.
Guess what? When these people come up to kill you, man, remember what it told you in 1 Peter, man, they're going to speak evil of your good conduct in a Mashiach. He said, but be happy. Hold on, get to him real quick, man. 1 Peter 3 and 14. We come right back to Psalm 27. 1 Peter 3 and 14. See, your faith got to be built up, man, to be able to take on what's finna go down. But if you ain't got no faith, you're going to fold and you're going to deny your maker. Because I'm telling you right now, boy, not eating pork chops and keeping Sabbath days is not going to give you the grit and desire and the commitment and the unwavering belief in the hope of the resurrection of the dead when these people talking about taking your life for the word. I ain't talking about taking your life because, you know, a lot of people talk about what's in Maccabee. The people not going to come kill you. Talking about if you eat pork chops, you're going to die. They're going to come kill you and ask you to deny your maker. They're going to come and ask you to deny your redeemer. You know what I'm talking about? That's what they're going to come at you with now. You got to be resolute that you committed to doing that. Can you drink the cup that he drank from? And can you be immersed with the immersion that he is immersed with? That's the question. Continue.
And if you suffer for righteousness' sake.
But if you what?
If you suffer for righteousness' sake.
What else?
Happy are you.
Blessed
be not
you.
afraid of their terror.
Don't be afraid of their terror.
Neither be troubled.
Don't have no trouble in your heart.
But sanctify the Lord Elohim in your hearts and be ready always to give an answer to every man that asks.
See, that's Isaiah 8 and 13 that he's telling you about.
A reason of the hope that is in you with meekness and fear.
You got to have a reason. It's supposed to be a level of humility the way you sit back and tell them, boy, I got such respect for my Elohim. I don't care nothing about what these people going to do to me. Ain't that's what them three young men, when they got tossed in the fiery furnace, they say, we careful to answer you in this matter. He said, man, whether Yahuwah deliver us or not, we don't know. But one thing I do know, I ain't doing that. And the very matter of what they sized them in, that's what the beast's going to be coming at you with. It's about idolatry. Will you serve Yahuwah or will you bow down to an idol God? It ain't going to have nothing to do with your nationality. Ain't going to have nothing. Look at, man, I was telling Latrell earlier, man, this real talk, man. And I told y'all this before. You think them people give a damn about you talking about you an Israelite? That's not no threat to their power. We talked about this in the beginning of this conversation. Everything is about power. Now, as men, especially our men, because you haven't been in power, you don't really understand the desire of power and wanting to have power. And what you believe is power is no power at all. You understand? See, you think if you can get some land to grow some crops and have a hospital or a bank, that's some power. That's not power if you don't control the land. It's not power if you don't control the currency. It's not power if you don't control the laws. If somebody else can come take what you have, or you got to ask permission for another person to do something, you ain't got no power. Because if you want to build a hospital, you got to ask Mr. Charlie for permission. You cannot just start building one. You got to get building permits. You got to get zoned. That means you don't have power because you got to ask another man for permission. You understand? If you create a bank, you got to go to them and file your charter with the Security Exchange Commission. You got to get down with what's the people, the FDIC and all that type of stuff. You just can't say I'm opening the bank. You got to ask another man permission in order to do it. That means you ain't got no power. You understand? See, your maker is coming to take power from these people. That's why they want to fight him. They don't care nothing about your skin. The Egyptians look just like you, and they were worried about losing their power, not who you were. See, we don't look at that because you don't really want power. You want the illusion of power to seem equal with people who don't give a damn about you, to justify yourself because of your low self-esteem, your insecurities, and your lack of validation. So if you feel like that you can mirror what they doing, that will be cool for you, even though you don't have any power. Which is why we don't have power with our maker, because you're not giving yourself fully and wholly over to him. Therefore, he cannot bestow his power upon you because you're not going to be a faithful steward. You're going to misuse and abuse the power that he gives. And he don't give his power to sinners, and he don't give his power to unbelievers, and he don't give his power just to give it. See, to have power, you got to understand shalom, brother Reynolds. You got to understand the responsibility that comes with it. That's why the book say the just, he that rule amongst men must be just. Because when you have rule and dominion, you have power. So you have to be righteous in order to actually operate with power. A lot of the Hebrews want to put themselves in positions, but who's going to set you up in that position? Another man? And who's going to validate that you're actually right? Why would y'all even listen to dudes who ain't even got the spirit? That man ain't righteous. Not in God's sight. You know what I'm saying? You got to understand that. See, we be playing these games. You really got to understand something, man. A lot of these niggas just talking out their butthole, man. These boys don't want no power, because in order to get power, guess what's got to happen? Somebody got to die. And you want power from Elohim, and guess what you got to do to get it? You're going to have to die to the flesh, die to the lust of the world, die to the lust of the flesh, die to the pride of life, and die to sin in order to get that power. And you ain't willing to do it. That's why you don't have the power. See, you think that's power because you can grow some corn and some grapes. Nigga, that ain't no power, nigga. Because they can come take your crops. They can come take your land. He's going to show you you don't have power because you don't have him. The power is not in what you can do. The power is who you do it in. We don't seem to understand that. You know what I'm talking about? That's where the power at. The power is... Read Genesis 32 and 28 just one time for me, man. Genesis 32 and 28. And why you in my refrigerator, cuz? It is your fault. Fault your butt out my house. Sick of your junk.
And he said, your name shall be called no more Jacob, but Yasharal. For as a prince have you power with Elohim and with men.
As a who?
For as a prince.
You have power with who?
With Elohim.
With man.
With Elohim.
With the nation.
With Elohim.
With the nations.
With Elohim. And with men that have prevailed.
And with men. Who you got the power with first?
Elohim. You
need the power with him. And if he said you a prince, that means you a ruler. You're a ruler and you got power with God. See, you want to rule, but you don't want the power that comes from Elohim. Ask yourself this question. Why would you want to rule and have power in a world that is not subject nor obedient to the will of God? Don't you understand you're going to have to kill these people? Because these people are not going to willingly serve. You're going to have to kill them. And you don't want to kill them. And you know why you don't want to kill them? Because then you have to kill yourself. Because you ain't died to your sin just like they have it. Because then you're going to have to render judgment on your own head. That's why we talk about the stuff that we talk about in order to not condemn ourselves. We don't want to deal with that. Come on back to Psalm 27. Tell me what verse you stopped at. You know, you could just weigh and consider. You could be like, man, that nigga know what he talking about. He love the white man and all that goofy stuff you want to come up with to justify that you don't know what you talking about. You a goofy and a weirdo. Because I wouldn't follow now one of you niggas. Because all you're going to do is lead me to the valley of Hinnom and an early grave. Psalm 27 and 11.
Teach me your way, O Yahuwah, and lead me in a plain path because of my enemies.
That's right.
You deliver me not over unto the will of my enemies.
That's right.
The false witnesses are risen up against me.
That's right.
And such as breathe out cruelty.
They breathe out what?
Cruelty.
Keep that in mind.
Unless I had believed to see the goodness of Yahuwah in the land of the living. Wait on Yahuwah.
Wait on who?
Yahuwah.
That's right.
Be of good courage.
Be of who?
Be of good courage.
He said, wait on who?
Yahuwah.
Wait on man.
Wait on Yahuwah.
Wait on your people.
Yahuwah.
Wait on who?
Yahuwah.
And have good what?
Courage.
How you gonna have good courage? Because he that trusts in Yahuwah is everlasting strength. That's where your courage gonna come from. Tell them what courage is by definition. Your courage don't come from your toughness. Your courage don't come because you got testicles and a penis. Your courage don't come from the fact you trust in your God.
That's Kazakh To strengthen, to prevail, to
So
harden, to
that's
be
kazak.
strong.
You're gonna be able to be strong in which is the same word, which is everlasting strength in Isaiah 26. Go ahead.
And he shall strengthen your heart.
He shall what?
Strengthen your heart.
What else he gonna do?
Wait, I say.
Wait on who?
Wait on Yahuwah.
Wait on who?
Yahuwah.
Oh, we wanted verse 1. Go back to Psalm 27:1. That's what I needed. Shalom, Jay.
Yahuwah, my light and my salvation.
That's right.
Whom shall I fear?
Whom shall I fear?
Yahuwah, the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid?
Who I'm gonna be afraid of?
When the wicked, my enemies and my foes came upon me to eat up my flesh, they stumbled and fell.
Stumbled in what?
And fell.
They stumbled in what?
And fell.
That's why you seen that in John when they came in. He said, "Who you looking for?" He said, "I am he," and they stumbled and fell. So you would have to understand, son. Even if they kill you, they still stumbling and falling. Come on back to Luke chapter 12, man. Pick it up at verse 5 one more time. Where my gushers at?
But I will forewarn you whom you shall fear. Fear him which after he hath killed have power to cast into hell. Yea, I say unto you, fear him.
Fear who?
Fear him.
Why?
Are not 5 sparrows sold for 2 farthings, and not one of them is forgotten before Elohim?
What else?
But even the very hairs of your head are all numbered.
The very hairs of your hair are numbered.
Fear not, therefore, you are of more value than many sparrows.
Remember what the book say? He say, I don't fear what man can do unto me. This man say, you more valuable than birds. What you worrying about dying for? If your God, according to Deuteronomy 32, say he lift up his hands and say he live forever, and if you and him and he and you, what you scared of dying for? That don't even make common sense. See, a lot of our people, they want to prove how tough they is and they going to be a warrior and all this other type of stuff. But a lot of them ain't going to stand up and die for the word. Because when it came time to die for the word, Yahushua ain't lift up now weapon. He ain't lift up now weapon. You know what I'm talking about? He told Peter, man, I could call for 12 legions of Malachim, boy, and this thing is a wrap. But he counted it a worthy thing to suffer for the name of his Abba and Shamahim. He counted that a great thing. Remember what we read in 2 Corinthians chapter 12. That is his grace is sufficient in weakness. You know what I'm saying? His strength is made perfect in that regard. That's what a manifestation of the faith at. But see, a lot of us ain't going to be willing to die for the word because you're going to take that as weakness because you got to feel like I got to prove I'm some type of warrior and this, that, there, and the third. Yet the warrior who you want to mention in David, there was a lot of times where this man did not fight, that his act of self-defense was to flee. Especially when it came down of fleeing and dealing with people who looked like him. And these were people who were seeking his life, who he could have easily killed, and he chose not to do so. You know what I'm talking about? But see, a lot of us don't want to hear that. See, I know why a lot of dudes got to prove they so tough, because they probably were nerds back in the day, or they got beat up a lot in school, or some dudes are just, you know what I'm saying, they just like that. They feel like they got to show how tough they is. I kill one of these products. You ain't going to do nothing. A lot of these dudes ain't going to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? When it's time to up that fire, a lot of these boys ain't going to shoot. They're going to freeze. And you know why they're going to freeze? Not necessarily because they cowards, because they're going to see a level of carnage that their mind can't fathom. And they're going to be stuck in the aspect of seeing people get their heads knocked off. See, unless you've been in military combat, which the mass majority of us have never been in, you know what I'm talking about? Then you have no idea what it is to see somebody who you care about and love die right in front of your face. And I'm talking about in several of them. Some people, you're not built for that. And that's fine. That doesn't make you less. Ain't that what David said when he was some people who stayed back with the stuff? They're not lesser because they didn't want to go out there and fight at the front. You know what I'm talking about? See, we be having in our mind that we got to show that we got to prove that you just this tough, masculine dude, man. Everybody's not a warrior. And that's okay. You know what I'm talking about? It really is. But what you have to be is resolute and steadfast and be ready to ride all the time for what you believe in, even if it costs you your life. Because in reality, you didn't lose your life, you gained it. Ain't that what it said in John? Get it for him, man. Give me John chapter 12, verse 23.
And Yahushua answered them, saying, the hour is come that the Son of Man should be esteemed. Truly, truly, I say unto you, except the corn of wheat fall into the ground and die,
It abide alone.
But if it die,
it bring forth
much fruit.
Mm-hmm.
He that love his life shall lose it.
He that what?
Love his life shall lose it.
He that what?
Love his life shall lose it.
And he that lose?
And he that hate his life in this world shall keep it unto life eternal. If any man serve me.
That's good. What I had you holding beside that song?
The Daniel 7.
Come over here to Daniel 7 and 17. Now, we've seen some things in Psalm 27 where it was referring to him dealing with his enemies and his enemies speaking against him and wanting to do him harm, and that his trust was in Yahuwah and that he would wait on his maker and have no regard nor care for what his enemies were saying out of their mouth. All of this is still tying back to until he accomplished the scatter the power of the Kadash people, then these things will be finished. And we're still talking about that sixth seal of seeing those who were under that altar who had been killed for the word of Elohim and a testimony which they held. And they were given white robes. Go ahead.
These great beasts, which are four kings, shall arise out of the earth. Mm-hmm. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever.
That's right.
Then I would know the truth of the fourth beast, which was diverse from all the others.
He was different from everybody.
Exceeding dreadful, whose teeth iron and his nails brass.
So he said he was exceedingly terrible. Awesome. Ain't no kingdom gonna be like the kingdom of this fourth one, because this to be a lot of people say this America has not done anywhere near close to what the man of sin is gonna do. Ain't done nothing close to it. Because you know how you know? Because America ain't never persecuted nobody for testifying to Yahushua HaMashiach. That ain't never happened. Did they commit atrocities against you simply for the fact let me tell you something. I told you before. The aspect of racism is an actually contrived narrative for the purpose of keeping the people divided as a means to manipulate you mentally and emotionally and to dictate how you behave. The powers that be, when you say white supremacy, they don't believe that they're superior because they're white. I'm talking about the ones who actually rule. See, they tell that to their people to perpetuate so that they can mentally manipulate and control them. But the people who perpetuate what we call white supremacy are people who are just desirable of maintaining their power. That's it. Because the white men who are in power don't give a damn about white people either. And if you sit down and talk to the average white person, they will tell you this, that they are clear and obvious that these people don't give a damn about anybody other than maintaining the power that they have. That's all they care about. That's the reality of life. When you stop dealing with things from the lens of race, because that's a contrived narrative that you've been sold, and understand that it's about power. When you look at it from the masculine aspect of power, rule, and domination, then you'll begin to understand why these people operate in the fashion that they operate. Because I guarantee you go overseas, you're not going to hear no narrative about no white supremacy. Ain't no white supremacy in Iran. Ain't no white supremacy in no doggone in China. It damn sure ain't none in North Korea. North Korea is isolated. So that narrative doesn't even come about. So you have to understand that, but I get it because we live in America, so everything is going to be from an American point of view. You know what I'm talking about? But it's about their power. Because you think Joe Biden give a damn about some white folks? I put in the chat the other day, you seen what that congressman was talking to the dude who was over the Federal Reserve, that they literally said in order to bring down inflation, they got to increase the unemployment rate. So you think that's just going to affect black people? No, it's not. How many times you done seen these white folks complaining, talking about the middle class gone? That's not dealing with you. So they don't give a damn about them either. What can I do to maintain power? See, when you do that, then you'll be able to understand that separation and division, that's of the devil. That's what he do. Keep people separate and fighting. Because if I can keep you separate and fighting and dealing in the flesh, then I can easily control and rule over you. You got to look at things from the aspect of the dynamics of power. Because if you continue to look at things from the dynamics of your skin tone, you will continually be manipulated and defeated by the adversary at all times, because you are, truth be told, are a mental simpleton. You know what I'm talking about? Now, of course, the white folks on the ground, they buy into the race narrative because they are a mental simpleton. But we supposed to be an Elohim. We ain't supposed to be that simple in our thought process. You supposed to see past that. Didn't he say the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, and we don't war against flesh and blood, but principalities and high places? That means if you're dealing with principalities, that means you're dealing with dominion and rule. Get it for me, man. Ephesians 6 and 9.
6 and 1.
6 and 9.
And you masters do this.
Ephesians 6 and 9. But make it 10. I don't even.
Finally, my brethren, be strong in Yahuwah and in the power of his might. Put on the whole hour of Elohim, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil.
Stand against the who?
The wiles of the devil.
Stand against the wiles of who?
The devil.
What else?
For we wrestle not against flesh and blood.
We don't wrestle against what?
Flesh and blood.
So that means if you're not wrestling against flesh and blood, that means who did, put it this way, we read the outcome. Who did Jacob wrestle with?
Malachi.
So that means he wrestled with something that had power, rule, and dominion. He didn't wrestle with flesh and blood. And because he didn't, he got power to rule as Elohim, and he got power with Elohim and men to be a ruler. So why are you wrestling with flesh and blood? So the text is telling you, if you're looking at Hamite, Shemite, and Yefet, you's a simpleton. You don't understand. Go ahead.
But against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world.
Against who?
The rulers of the darkness of this world.
He said against what?
Principalities and against powers.
And power. That's what you fighting against. Power, rule, and dominion. Of this what?
The rulers of the darkness of this world.
So that ain't got nothing to do with, because guess what? It's some wicked men that's ruling in China. Them Koreans damn so wicked. I don't care if it's north or south. You know what I'm talking about? It's some wicked people ruling in the Middle East. It's some damn so wicked people ruling in America of all manner of nationalities. They wicked in Britain. They wicked in Canada. They wicked in Mexico. They wicked in Central America. They wicked in South America. And these are all the nationalities of the nations of the world. Muffin, bring me a watermelon wanted out of their stack. You know what that means? With haste. Indeed, Brother Lang. So you got to understand that. The aspect of race is a controlled and contrived narrative to keep you from desiring overthrowing their power, because it keeps the people fighting amongst themselves. And you ain't got to agree with it. You can be like, man, this nigga a coon, he a Uncle Tom, your mammy a slut, and your daddy a goofy. You know what I'm talking about? Darius said he looked at the race conversations as a carnal, emotional tactic and power dynamic stuff, the spiritual things not seen of the eye. Indeed, I agree. You know what I'm saying? But I also know, just because I like government stuff when I was young and things of that nature. So then when you begin to look at political science and things of that sort, and then that, of course, will lead you to looking at things in history as forth as other countries and how they operate. And then by the grace of Elohim, you come in the word and you study the word and you see the word. And then you begin to understand that everything is about power. Everything is about power. Hey, your mom talking to you. Come on, man. Daniel chapter 7, verse what?
What was it, 17?
Daniel 7 and 17. Go ahead.
These great beasts which are four kings shall arise out of the earth, but the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. Then I will know the truth of the fourth beast, which was diverse from all the others, exceeding dreadful. His teeth iron and his nails brass, devoured, break in pieces, and stamped the residue with his feet.
That's right.
And of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, before whom 3 fell, even of that horn that had eyes, and a mouth that spake very great things.
Spake what?
Very great things.
Spake what?
Very great things.
What else?
Whose look more stout than his fellows.
He was more stout than everybody else.
I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints.
He made war with who?
With the saints.
He made war with who?
The saints.
And what happened?
Prevailed against them.
He overcame them.
Until the Ancient of Days came.
Till the who?
The Ancient of Days came.
So you're going to be overcame by this last beast that was stout with his word till God comes.
And judgment was given to the saints of the Most High.
Read that again so it can rest in your mind. Listen to it.
I'm sorry, 21 again.
21.
I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints and prevailed against them.
Made war with the saints and prevailed against them.
Until the Ancient of Days came.
Till Elohim came.
And judgment was given to the saints of the Most High.
This man gonna prevail against us until God come, and ain't nothing that any of you could say or do anything about it.
And the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth.
That's good. I'm gonna read you this Revelation 13:3. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death. His deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. They worshiped the serpent, which gave power unto the beast. And they worshiped the beast, saying, who, like unto the beast, who is able to make war with him? And it was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and all power was given unto him to continue 42 months. He opened his mouth in blasphemy against Elohim, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in Shamahim. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints, to overcome them. Power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. So you can tell you, this ain't no race thing right here, because he got rule over everybody. Now, of course, we're being kind of redundant, but do you remember what's in Ezekiel 35? How I tell you Esau would speak blasphemies, and since he had no problem shedding blood and pursuing blood, that blood was going to pursue him. So this is how we look at it and know the man of sin is an Edomite. Now, you can sit back and try to determine what nationality that is because you heard that, and I'm going to tell you that you are a spiritual simpleton. Because if you worry about that, you worry about the wrong thing. You would have to understand your brother want power and rule with God just like you got. So he want that opportunity that you have. And in the midst of that opportunity, he is going to accomplish what he told Isaac he was going to do. What did Esau tell Isaac he was going to do upon getting that blessing? After Esau got the little bit of blessing that was left, and after Jacob got the blessing that was from Elohim, what did Esau resign in his heart and utter out of his mouth that he was going to be determined to do? Kill his brother. You think this man just making war with you? This is a long-held hatred. He want that birthright back, and he's willing to kill you for it. Get it for him, man. Genesis 27:41. I'm going to read verse 8 of Revelation 13, so I ain't got to come back over here. And they and all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. So I'm going to tell you something real now. And you may not recognize it when it happened. You may recognize it when it happened. Yahuwah knows. Anybody who you see worshiping the beast is going to hell. And they were already earmarked to go to hell. They were earmarked to go to hell from the foundation of the world. Because if your name written in the book of life, there's a lot of things you going to do. But worship the beast ain't one of them. Come on with it, man.
And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father beroofed him.
That what? Esau what?
Hated Jacob.
He hated who?
Jacob.
Why he hated?
Because of the blessing wherewith his father beroofed him. Mm-hmm. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob.
Then I'm going to do what?
Slay my brother Jacob.
I'm going to do what?
Slay my brother Jacob.
You stinking bastard Jew. Now, I want you to get me Ezekiel 35 on general principle, man. And tell me about verse 7, man.
Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it him that pass out and him that return. And I will fill his mountains with his slain, in your hills and in your valleys and in all your rivers shall they fall that are slain with the sword.
Slain with the what?
With the sword. I will make you perpetual desolations, and your city shall not return. You shall know that I am Yahuwah. Because you have said, these two nations and these two countries shall be mine.
They shall be what?
Shall be mine, and we will possess it, whereas Yahuwah was there.
Because who was there?
Yahuwah was there. Okay. Therefore I live, save Yahuwah Elohim.
He spoiled his name. Now listen to him.
I will even do according to your anger and according to your envy, which you have used.
According to your who?
Your anger.
And your what?
And your envy.
You don't think we just read Esau had anger and envy with his brother, did he not? It's talking about Esau in Ezekiel 35. Go back and read it from the top for yourself. Go ahead.
Your envy, which you have used out of your hatred against them, and I will make myself known among them when I have judged you.
Pause. Give me Proverbs 27:14. I believe. I mentioned this verse the other day. Let me make sure that's the right thing that I'm telling you. Because he said, for the hatred and the envy, what you in there doing to my baby? Huh? You got my baby in there screaming like that. You being mean to my baby. I got a treat for you.